All right. Welcome to September. I don't know where the summer is, but I mean, call volume's still here, but the summer itself is over, which is crazy. But got a few things to go through today, guys. So thanks everybody for coming out. And again, one more time, just don't forget to clock in. So I'm sure everybody has noticed I've been a little busy training. I mean, I say this every month, but it's definitely it's been a little busy with that. We have a whole bunch of RVTs. Still onboarding a few, just trying to make sure that we are well stocked for the rest of the year. So some of our new RVTs in this list are in the room, some aren't. But feel free to say hello. And if you see them on shift, either in training or when they're eventually on shift with you guys, just keep being supportive like you always are. I always get such great feedback from the new hires that everybody's keeping an eye on them and having their back. So again, I say this every month, but we really appreciate that. Sharon, did you want to talk about our lovely Labor Day weekend?
I need a moment. Sorry, Sarah. Go ahead.
Okay. Busy weekend for anybody that worked it, like any other holiday. We did about 760 logged calls, about 350 consults seen. I can't count tasks like a bajillion. And as normal, we helped a whole bunch of people and their pets. So great job, guys. I do want to give a specific shout out to our ACAs. I know that the tasks, them piling up can get a little crazy, and I know Lindsay and I can attest to that on mornings, especially after the holiday. The Tuesday can be a little crazy, so we all feel it, but I know that Lindsay and I especially really do appreciate having Trish on Monday mornings, and we know that how integral you are to helping out on the weekends because I know the RBTs appreciate it too. So don't ever think that when we talk about calls and all these things, that's the only things that we think about. That having you guys able to do these things for us, so we can focus on calls is super important. So thank you, the four of you. Thank you very much. So Sharon, whenever you're settled, this is you.
Okay. Sorry, Sarah.
It's okay.
Okay. Yeah, and thank you for that, guys. Labor Day weekend. Thank you so much again. I reiterate what Sarah said. We can do anything without you guys, so we appreciate all of the help. With that said, we do have lots of shifts open for September. I want to mention that I'm sure everybody's aware, we have the additional $6 stipend that we're adding to everyone's rates when you're taking these weekend coverage shifts. So that is going to continue into September. I can't say that that's going to be a forever thing. We're still discussing as a team whether this is feasible for us to continue or not. But I can tell you that we are continuing on with it for now. So just be aware of that. There are lots of open shifts for the month of September posted. So please feel free to grab them. This is me here too, Sarah.
It is.
Okay. So history taking, one of the things we just wanted to talk about when you're taking history from clients is just asking open-ended questions. So not asking leading questions. It's important that we don't lead our clients. If we say, I'm sorry about the background sounds, guys. I'm juggling a soccer game. But if we ask questions like, is he drinking more? Um, that does lead a client to sometimes it just opens their mind to thinking about it, but sometimes it does lead them to answering the question in a specific way. So we want to ask, have there been any changes to the drinking? And I know you guys know this from school. It's something we're all taught, but I've caught myself even recently, 20 years in, asking leading questions. So just wanted to give you guys a quick reminder of that. And also just having that conversation, having a conversation with the pet owner and trying to build some rapport is so important as well. As we listen to call reviews, we hear a lot of that happening. So thank you for that. But these people are often just really looking for assistance and somebody to help them to feel heard. So yeah, continue doing what you're doing, but just do remember the open-ended questions. I caught myself doing it a couple days ago. So we're all prone to it.
So this is not a blank slide, I promise. It caught me off guard for a second. I was like, oh, wait, never mind. I'm having to pop in. So notice boards. I know there's, the notice boards can kind of be, some of them can look a little overwhelming. We are still working on ways to create like templates in these things. So bear with us while Jared and the dev team, figure that out. What works best for the clinics, what works best for us, and then obviously what makes them most readable to you guys. But I did want to bring them up because while they're separate from on call events, sometimes there is pertinent information in these notice boards that may or may not impact your call, whether it's a transfer or a booking. So I just put up a couple examples. This is Beaverton Crossroads. They actually do want all clients to be offered transfer regardless of presenting complaint. So in cases where it's just something like sneezing or something like that, they still want the client to be offered. If the client says no, I don't want to be seen in person, then obviously we can do telemedicine for sure. But this is just one example of what kind of things you see in notice board. Here's another one. I usually mention this one in training. This clinic is near me in Sid Forest, and they don't have on-call services, but they've asked if a client has requested euthanasia for their pet, or in the cases life-threatening, emerge hospitals at capacity, we can try calling the clinic or the DVMs. Okay. So you wouldn't know this unless you open the notice board. Do we come across this very often? Not really. But it is important for you guys to realize that, there are these options sometimes. Another one that is one that I myself have missed. As everybody knows, I'm very honest. I've missed this one, so I did rearrange it. Animal Health Clinic in Sault Ste. Marie does not see non clients, but if there's somebody who needs end of life care, we can contact on call and see if they can accommodate. So I did have a non-client who was looking for euthanasia, and I saw they don't see non-clients, and this was way down here. So I moved it up to the top, and the doctor took this client for euthanasia. So just want to say that sometimes there are things in here that will impact your case. So it is super important to read them. Place the client on hold for 2 seconds. Just say, I'm just going to pull up their information. There's a little bit here for me to read, so I'm just going to place you on hold while I do that. If you need those couple seconds to concentrate, okay. For Beaverton, they do want you to offer transfer first. Okay. And then if they decline that, um, then you can offer telemedicine. Sharon, did you want to talk about? I didn't add their notice board because I was going to, but their notice board is really long. Did you want to talk about that now? It was part of it.
Yeah, I'm happy to because it made kind of make sense to talk through it here.
Mhm.
Sorry, name of the clinic. I'm drawing a blank.
South Porcupine.
Yeah, South Porcupine. So South Porcupine has requested multiple times that we take a really extensive and thorough history for their patients. I've had a couple of conversations now, phone calls with the clinician to explain that we are essentially like a 911 service. We're not primary care. We're not going to take a full, thorough history, especially when time doesn't allow for it. So they do understand that. I did say, however, if you'd like to put in your notice board what your requests and what your preferences are in terms of the information we gather, feel free to put it there. I just can't guarantee that it'll happen. So those are the words I said. The notice board looks very authoritative. It's like, essentially, we need this information, get this information for us. Know that that is not coming from us, and that they do understand as a hospital that there are going to be lots of times when it's just not possible for us to get that much information from a client, and that's not part of our regular routine or protocol. They understand and have accepted that, so you do not need to follow that. If time allows and you've built a nice rapport with the client, and you're able to get more information, they will very much appreciate it. But please don't feel any pressure to do that. You have lots of tasks to perform, and we are not primary care, so they do understand that. So as bossy as that notice board sounds, I don't mean to say that it's bossy, but it sounds quite authoritative. So just know that that's not written in stone, and it's certainly not coming from us.
Perfect. Thanks, Sharon. Sorry, guys. It's a really long notice board, but I figured we would just talk through it here. Do you want to answer Shauna's question, Sharon? I don't know if you can see it.
Sorry, I saw something about, is that depending on the
Emergency.
emergency?
Like if it's a porcupine quill, do we need to ask all that?
No, I mean, I think that's pretty. They want that information no matter what.
Yeah.
I think that's a pretty clear cut situation, right? No, the answer is no. You never need to ask all of that. I think if it's, I think it pertains most. mostly to the dogs where it's kind of dogs or cats where it's sort of a nebulous, probably a long list of differentials. We really aren't able to say much too clearly, like a lot of our GI ones, right? Vomiting animals, that kind of thing. If you have an opportunity to ask more detail, then by all means. But yeah, if it's a wound or something like that, then I don't think those things are, I can't imagine. Um, no, those are things they can talk through when they get there. Um, but it's just one of those things where if time allows, and they do understand that. And but I did give them the opportunity to say, I said, well, you can request anything in your notice board. It just doesn't mean that it's, if it's kind of anti to our protocol, it may not happen. It likely won't happen in most cases.
They're perfect. Shauna just shared it. Eating,
Yeah.
drinking, vomiting, how often, what, how long after eating, diarrhea, how often, color, blood, coughing. It's yeah, it's a big long history for sure.
Yeah, I do think the vaccine thing, when it is a GI patient, it does make sense to ask that question. Again, they're going to ask it when they go in,
Hmm.
but it does make sense to ask it because if we can flag, okay, patient's not up to date on vaccines, and sometimes clients don't even know. But if we can flag that in advance, they may handle the patient a little differently when it gets to the hospital, and it might protect everybody a little bit. So I think that's a relevant one for sure.
We actually do have a clinic, Temiskaming in New Liskeard, Sharon, that does ask um, if we could always ask about vaccine status because they constantly have parvo, and that does dictate how they tell us to relay information to the client. Like it might be stay in the car, we're going to come out and do a parvo test, and so I think that's completely reasonable for sure.
I think that's fair.
Hmm.
I think that's fair. Yeah. There are a lot of areas where that's the case. So if they've stated that on the notice board, then I do think we should pay attention to that.
Yeah, and it's at the top of theirs, I think. Sabine, I think we'll leave it at the bottom, um, because, like Sharon said, it's not a mandatory thing, it's just what they've asked. And yeah, so Bridget asked about the absolutely new calls from clients of vets in Sault Ste. Marie, Michigan, or outside of our group. So, what that would mean is they're not taking non clients, right? But if it's someone in need of end of life care, they can contact them. That's all that means. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I can see where that's a bit
For sure.
convoluted. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it does.
Yeah. They also have a criteria that says this clinic may have different criteria in their notice board versus, I can't remember the wording, guys, I'm sorry, but it says something like that, versus what the other clinics have or something. So, like, this clinic will see non clients for euthanasia, but not to pick on any of them, but I know another one sees no non clients, nothing. So, yeah.
So, okay. I wonder if we can edit that notice board then to reflect that, with the exception of end of life care, so that the
Mm,
mistake isn't made where people don't contact them based on that one line. Because
yeah.
of the all caps in that line, people may not see the up top
Let me.
exception.
Let me grab one of my many notebooks and I will make a note to reword that. It's a good point.
Yeah. Make it consistent so that there's
Yeah.
no mistakes.
Yeah. I'm just writing myself a note. I'll do it right after the meeting tonight. Okay, perfect. This has actually been asked a couple times lately, and I think it's just because as we expand to having more partner hospitals, there's always going to be a chance of more clients reaching us one way or another. So we've been receiving some calls from clients who have an RDVM that isn't a Smart Vet partner. And I've had a couple newer RVTs ask, well, can I not, do I not help them? And absolutely not. You can help them. But the important thing is just because a clinic doesn't work with us, it doesn't mean they don't have on call, right? We just don't work with them, so we don't have their account. So it is always best practice to just ask the client, did they call their RDVM first? And if their answering machine were closed, go to emerge, then we can obviously help them. The reason I'm bringing this up is we did have this is quite a few months ago. We had a clinic reach out to I think they reached out to Amanda actually, and said that his clients kept ending up at our service when he has on call, and he was getting just a little upset because he offers after hours, and on his recording of his answering machine it says just leave a message, I'll call you back. But what they were doing was calling another clinic in the area who works with us would get routed to us, and then we took over doing telemedicine and maybe transferred the animal to on call through one of our groups. So we just want to make sure that, we're not taking away clients from services they have access to. Um, but also we're not going to not help these people. Like I want to make sure that very clear. But I just remember this doctor. Amanda said he was super nice, but he was just very confused as to why clients were getting to us. And when she explained, she goes, "Oh," he said, "that totally makes sense. But could you please send them back to me?" Completely reasonable. So, just looking here. Yeah, exactly, Shauna. Yeah, so they may not listen to the entire message. There might be like press one for emergency or leave a message or maybe there's a pager that they just don't they just hear that we're closed and then they hang up and they call another clinic and get us. So, I would ask the client if they called their regular clinic first. And if they didn't, we should probably tell them, hey, just call them real quick, see if they have any emergency options or anything on their answering machine. I mean, we can do that too. We can put them on hold and do that. And then if there isn't anything, then absolutely we can help them. We just don't want to take clients away from emergency services that they already have access to. That's the thing. But I mean, if they don't have access, then absolutely we're going to help them. 100%. I know I've experienced it too. Definitely mostly in Ontario, of course. Any other questions? I mean, they can, Lori, of course. Like, I mean, we can't force a client to do anything, right? But I would still urge them to at least try contacting their regular clinic, just so we don't get that clinic upset. Because, like I said, we've had complaints from clinics, not recently, but I know I've been involved with a couple of them. Yep. Again, if they want to do it, that's fine, but we just have to be careful because, like I said, we have had complaints from a couple clinics that don't work with us. I wanted to quickly touch on a couple portal updates that are specific to you guys, which are pretty cool. This has been one I've been talking about for, I don't know, 2 years, whenever we started the new system, when we started doing tasks. Now we have a little checkbox, willing to dispense medications. So I tested this too, and it does all of the different yeses. So, which is great. Yes, for our clients. Yes, yes, read the notice board. All those will show up. So, for those of you doing tasks, if you call a clinic and you get an answer, um, like like maybe it says not provided and they end up saying yes or no, please reach out to Lindsay or myself. We both have access to updating those. The more we update, the more this filter will be awesome. I guarantee we'll never have every clinic's answer, but the more we can get, the quicker that you guys will have to be able to get through looking for a clinic. Okay. And it works for both BC and Ontario. So,
Can I just remind as well, though, that even if they're willing to dispense, it is a case by case basis. So
yep,
the regulations state that each case has to be looked at independently by the dispensing veterinarian. So if for some reason they end up not being comfortable with the dispensing, we just need to respect that decision and move forward and find another solution.
absolutely. Perfect. Yeah, thank you for adding that in. Um, which we do talk about in when anybody's trained on tasks that they're under no obligation because they're not a pharmacy. So, um, of course, but it's nice to be able to quickly find somebody that's possibly able and then at least call them for
Yeah,
sure.
I think this is a fantastic addition to the
Absolutely.
portal.
Absolutely. Then scrolling and clicking and pinning and that kind of thing. So, thank you, Jared and the dev team. It's awesome. He just made a little note here that coming in the maps is there's going to be a little yellow star on the map so you can see what's around them, which is pretty cool too. I'm going to try to find a way to get these little updates out to you guys that are pertinent to you. There's updates that are going, I won't go into nitty gritty stuff, but there's tons of updates that happen in the back end, but just helpful things that you guys should know. So we'll definitely use the meetings for that, and I'll keep you guys updated on things that are helpful. But the other two things that are on here is for call logs. We now, I know this is just an open and error, but we now have a way to export a copy of the call log. We don't really need to do this too often. The two times I can think of this is we've had a couple times where pet insurance wanted the call log. I'm not really sure why. There was no fee, but whatever. And then the other time would be Ripley. Everybody knows Ripley for large animal. They want you to email a copy of the call notes that's in their on-call event. Well, now you can just make a PDF. So there you go. Okay, Kristen. See, I've only heard of it once, but there you go. Now we've got an easy way to do it. We don't have to make it look ugly. It can export nicely. So those are the two scenarios I can think of. And then anytime a clinic wanted a copy, I mean, they can do it themselves on their end, but we now have a way too. This is also pretty awesome. Every time you're able to, or every time you go to export a medical record, you now can exclude images. Images take up a lot of space, and sometimes files get ginormous. So this is a great way to rid ourselves of that. So again, thank you, Jared and the dev team. That's a great idea. Since we have some new RVTs, I thought maybe I'd take a couple minutes and just I'll let the other OGs speak up too. I'll get you guys to come on mic after. We've been around for a while. There's a few of us that have been here since we first started the RVT line, and I'm assuming most of us this is our first work from home job. So I thought maybe I just go through, a couple tips of how I get through my shifts and how I'm still doing this after 3 years, that kind of thing. Honestly, a comfortable chair is super important. You're going to be sitting and taking calls. A crappy chair means a crappy shift. Spend the money and get a good chair. It's an investment. Stay hydrated. Taking back to back calls, and I'll tell you right now, with all the back to back training and back to back calls, by the end, I barely have a voice. So have your water. Just have some water nearby. It's important. Stay hydrated. It's not like your mother, but have some water. Have it nearby. Please take your breaks. Please, 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 please. I cannot stress this enough. This is a mentally exhausting job, and you need to decompress. Okay. For shifts longer than 4 hours, you are entitled to a 30-minute unpaid break. Take it. If you are on shift with me, I will ensure you take it. I will ensure that Steph makes you take it in the evenings. It is super important. Okay. If you
Can I
just
add one quick thing?
absolutely.
I think it's super important to get a little fresh air. I know it sucks when it's cold out, but just going outside, even if it's just for a few seconds, if you can't go for a walk around the block, just get a little fresh air. Take the dog out for a pee, whatever you're doing. But I think it's just super helpful to just help your mind and body to reset.
I agree. I am very bad for that. Lindsay gives me crap all the time when I'm in Arizona when I can literally walk outside to my backyard. So I
You
am
can't
going to
go walk
try
around the.
that. I'm going
Yeah,
to try.
Kim doesn't need to. She's exempt.
Yeah. Yeah, so do what you can. When you're on your break, play on your phone, walk away from your computer. And this is, you guys, just depends on who's in this room, are all going to yell at me because I never do these things. But don't listen. Don't do what I do. Do the right thing. You need to walk away. Um, if you just got off a tough call and you need a couple minutes, don't be afraid to ask for a few minutes off the phone. Okay, we've all had tough calls, whether it was a client that was, not the nicest, or a really difficult emotional case. Take some time off the phone. It is okay. Just say, Tame, you know what? This was a really hard call. Can I just have 3 minutes to just go outside, get some fresh air, like Sharon said, get a drink, not vodka, but a drink, some water, just to step away. Don't be afraid to do that. So I just wanted to see if any of our other OGs want to come on microphone for a real second here and see if they had any other tips on navigating as a smart vet RVT. Feel free to come on microphone. What's wrong with vodka?
I always find like one thing that definitely helps me is like I try to do like every couple calls, I just try to like on my like after work time just get up and like stretch a little bit. Just like move around a bit at my desk. I find that's really helpful to not just like feel like this sitting and like not getting tired is not the right word, but like I find it can kind of bring you down a bit. So like just stretching really helps me.
Yeah, for sure. Something else I don't do, but yes, absolutely. Good call. Good call. Anybody else? Don't be shy. I mean, it doesn't have to be OGs. We can just anybody if they have any tips or things they do. Everybody's shy today.
Lots of ideas in the chat, Sarah.
Yeah, I see that. So, funny videos, hand weights, tequila. Yeah, if you like tequila, that works. Under the desk bike, a space heater. Yeah, anything
Ooh,
that makes you more comfortable for sure.
I've heard people saying fuzzy slippers, like, yeah, those kinds of things.
Yep. Yeah, for sure. Under the desk bike. On the porch, nice days. Yeah, for sure. Blankets, fuzzy socks, and pants. Yeah, whatever ups your comfort, guys. This is not an easy job. I mean, and anybody that's been trained by me, like I'm honest, like you're gonna have rough shifts, you're gonna have rough calls, and you got to have that time to decompress. Millie, I can't say that I have children to hug, but I get that too. It's a good idea.
Nutella, I love that.
Spoonful of Nutella after every shift.
That's good. Whatever rewards you need. You're also going to have some awesome moments and some awesome shifts, but there's no question it's stressful. And you guys, when we review calls, we hear you going through it for sure. So do
I
what
also have my screaming goat when I need to.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you can hear it, but hold on, I'm gonna play it.
You got that for you got that for Christmas, didn't you?
That's right.
Yeah, that's
And
right.
I use them sometimes.
I love it. I love it. Yeah, whatever works, guys. Yep. Yep. And some people have mentioned two screens. I will tell you right now, my power or my internet went out in my house, and I had to go down the street to my sister's, and I wasn't gonna lug my second screen. That was the worst shift I've ever had in my entire life. One screen, I can't do it anymore. So if you ever can get a second screen and try it, I'm going to have a whole bunch of people in the chat right now chime in. I guarantee you will never, ever switch back. Yes, I have a bird problem, Jared. I have a lot of birds on my desk. Um, Seriously, two screens is 100% a game changer. If any of you have been trained by me, you know I never tell you, I've never forced you to get any piece of equipment, but honestly, a headset, a mouse, and if you can get a second screen, the mouse just for scrolling certain areas in the portal, the headset just because it's nicer. And yeah, man, two screens. Yeah, I'm going to get a third, to be completely honest, when I'm settled in Arizona. So I don't know how I ever did this job with one. So, and and in case anybody's ever wondering, I just have Spot on one screen and everything else on the other. That's why I'm able to reply to messages so quickly, because I have Spot there right away. So yeah, again, you don't have to spend $1,000 on a monitor. Yep, perfect. I'd honestly wait for like Black Friday, Sabina, and go to Best Buy or Walmart. Usually they have good deals. I mean, Mike, you're here somewhere. Do you have any better ideas for getting a cheap monitor? Is he in here? I don't know if he's even in here.
I think he recommended he sent me an Amazon link. That's where I
Oh, there
got
you go.
mine.
Yeah.
I'll try and find it and share it in the chat. It was a little more than the 120 that's being discussed, but it's a really cool screen. So
I think that one was about 165, Sharon.
No,
Mike,
it's
were
not
you
bad.
here?
yeah.
Yeah.
That one's also like a travel one. If
Ooh.
you're not traveling, which I assume most of you aren't, then just like a regular monitor is fine. And I would just go to Best Buy to buy something. It doesn't need to be crazy. I'd say the most important thing is if you have a fixed desk, the most important thing is how big is the display.
hmm
That's
Yeah,
it.
for sure. Cool. Now this is a pretty big monitor, my second one, but that's just because I have the second shelf here, so it's nice. But yeah, seriously, guys, if you can find one, you'll never go back. Yeah. I can't figure out how to make one screen a different desktop. I'm not that smart, so it's just the same screenshot. But Lindsay, you're up, my dear. Assuming you haven't abandoned us.
No, I'm here. I'm gonna be honest, I don't know what happened to Sorry, I had the hospital a month thing up and then now it's just magically gone. So not really sure where it went. So sorry, just bear with me a minute
Why don't
while
we
I
why don't we move on and come back to Lindsay?
Yeah, sounds good.
That would be great. Thank you.
Yeah. Sharon, do you want to do some case review?
Oh sure. This is a surprise. I hadn't gotten this far in the slides. So
Sorry.
fun.
Just
Okay, respiratory scenarios.
keeping you on your toes.
Yeah, great.
Okay.
Okay, sure. Let's do it. Okay, 5-year-old female speed Jack Russell. Owner calls, feels Lily, her dog, is having difficulty breathing. Owner reports Lily's making very loud noises while breathing. Sounds like she's choking. Mucous membranes are pink. RBT asks owner to send a video. Go for it, guys. Can we hear that? I can't hear that. Sarah, was that supposed to have sound on it?
I assume you guys couldn't hear that, right?
No.
Okay, hold on. Hold please. I realized what I forgot to do. Okay, let me know if it works now. Can you hear that now?
Yes, that's perfect. Thank you. Guys,
Okay,
what are
go
we
away.
doing? A transfer or are we doing a consultation?
Sorry, it's not a Jack Russell. I meant to change this to Cocker Spaniel. Sorry.
That's fine. I was going to say we get a lot of these case reviews that are Jack Russells for some reason.
That's
Um,
because your
yeah.
agenda person's lazy and just changes the information for the
No, it's all
case.
good. Yeah, you guys are nailing this. Like, obviously, it appears to be a reverse sneeze. We have time to take this virtually and figure out is it, I mean, not to say a reverse sneeze can be caused by all kinds of other things, right? But generally speaking, not an emergency situation. We did have a clinic complain about a case that was transferred where the dog was reverse sneezing, and the recommendation was to do a direct transfer. Veterinarian, I don't believe, saw that pet. So sometimes it's the description of the owner. A video can always help us to discern, owners can't panic with a reverse sneeze. So a video can help us discern whether this is actually an emergency or not. Nobody wants to be sent a reverse sneezing dog at 3 a.m., dragged out of their bed. So anyway, just be aware of that type of case. Okay. 10-year-old female spayed exotic, short hair. Owner called concerned her cat chicken is having difficulty breathing. Reports she's not open mouth breathing, but is breathing more rapidly than usual. Owner said mucous membranes are pale pink, and we requested a video. Yes, guys. Yes, absolutely. Transfer that patient.
This was a really
Yeah.
sad case. This was actually a real cat. I felt so bad for this owner because she looks okay, but her breathing's bad. Oh,
Yeah. Yeah, no, that didn't look good. And we want that cat to be seen. Maybe it's pleural effusion. Maybe there's something treatable there. But that cat is hanging on by a thread, probably. And just the
yeah.
stress of the car ride for that cat is probably going to make things even worse. So let's send it now rather than waiting for it to actually be on the precipice.
hmm
And then we're pushing it over the edge by driving it somewhere.
Yeah. On call was 10 minutes away. Thank God.
Okay.
So
Yeah, no, that this cat needs care. So it sounds like everybody is on board with that. And these videos are so incredibly helpful. Please take advantage of the tools that we have at our disposal.
sorry, I couldn't remember how far I'd gone. There you go.
Oh, sorry. Okay. 4-year-old female spayed, domestic long hair. Owner calls concerned Peanuts having difficulty breathing. Owner reports Peanuts was sneezing, coughing for a few days, and eating less. When RBT asks for colored mucous membranes, owner says kind of white. RBT asks for a photo. And I'm assuming that we're asking for the other respiratory questions, like about open mouth breathing, etc. What do you guys think? Okay, we're getting a few different answers. Most people are agreeing that this is a virtual. A lot of people are suggesting, hey, but please get a video ahead of time of the breathing, like we had on the last cat, so that we can make 100% sure we're comfortable with virtual. I think that's a good suggestion. Or maybe tell them about book a higher priority. Again, that would be dependent on, is a high priority actually going to be seen quickly? What's our queue looking like right now? I think the video would be fantastic to have for this cat because it would just make us extra safe. This does look like probably this is okay to book virtual though. So you guys are right on that point. 13-year-old male neutered shepherd. Owner says Charlie is lethargic and having difficulty breathing. Describes heavy panting. Heavy painting. That'd be nice. My dog did that. Panting as well as abdominal movement during breaths. Owner reports mucous membranes look gray, and we asked for a photo. Oh, good. Sorry, did I say that out loud?
This was
Yeah.
not a real case. This was a Google image, just so everybody knows.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. This is, what are you guys thinking? What's likely to be the diagnosis in this patient?
Transfer to
Yeah,
Jesus.
sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, we might be able to transfuse this dog and remove a bleeding spleen.
Yeah,
Stop.
maybe. Yeah. Yeah. That's
Yeah,
sad.
a hemangio most likely, or an abdominal bleed at least. Yeah. This could be a ruptured hematoma.
True. It's a cute dog. Feel bad for him.
Yeah. Okay, great. Good job, guys.
All right. Well, I'm going to go back to the hospital of the month. Oh, too far. There we go. Because Lindsay is ready.
Can I add a suggestion or kind of reminder maybe as well? That just I was doing review yesterday too as well, and just a reminder that even if we book the consultation, if we get them into video, when you do that test run with the owners, if you physically see, you can physically see the pet there too as well. So if the owners can't get a video or they're not that tech savvy, use that as your video test too, and you can always cancel and transfer at that time too as well. Just because you've booked the virtual, just remember that that's not your end result. If you see them on video and you feel that it is a different scenario, you can always change it, right? Just a reminder, remember that.
Great point, Kristen. Thank you.
A second to that, I had a call yesterday that there was cannabis in the house. The owners were adamant, but the dog was really lethargic and urinating on itself and ataxic. And so when I had the client flip the camera, he showed me the dog, and I was like, "Oh, buddy, you're not having a very good day." The dog was so stoned, so it helped me know that I was like, "Okay, yeah, this does definitely sound." I mean, obviously, I didn't tell the client that, but then Natalie went, "Yep, marijuana." So the other side of that coin is at least it can help you kind of be confident in the fact that yes, this dog is not having a great day, but is stable. So absolutely, Kristen, great point.
Yeah. Answer Sabina. I have no idea who's winning right now. I haven't paid attention. If my son says, "Did you see that?" I'm gonna be like, "Yes, I did." I didn't though.
All right, I am ready. Sorry about that.
Perfect.
Um,
Great.
so we had not very many votes this month, which makes me a little sad. We were doing so well there with so many votes. So don't forget to vote. I know we've been really busy, but you can send me a message in Sling or Slack or email. Honestly, all the ways. I will take these votes. So we only had 7 this month. Just a couple honorable mentions. Hard Rock got an honorable mention just for being a rock star with some very challenging cases. Brockville Animal Hospital took a suspect rabies case with an owner that was cost concerned, and the on call said that they would work with the owner to figure out like payments, things like that, to help get the cat out of the house, as there was like kids and other pets in the house. So that's really great. They were able to go above and beyond.
Do we know what the outcome was? Was it a rabies case?
I don't know what the outcome was.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Ospika, they took a case 50 minutes after on call ended. It was one that we had already reached out to them about, but the owners were going to monitor. Then the dog all of a sudden took a turn for the worst, and on call was willing to see them even after they were off, which is great. Val Karen for taking a really upset client whose animal was hit by a car and dealing with it really amazingly. Lastly, the winner there is Northland and Sault Ste. Marie. They took, I guess, they were sent 5 transfers at the beginning of their shift when it started at 5. And they took everyone with positive attitude and were really pleasant to like our team, which is great. And then the other vote for them was a client admitted to lying and not having an RDVM in Sault Ste. Marie, and Northland still took them. So that's pretty amazing too. You know, we love our clinics who see non-clients. So yeah, so I'll send them off a gift, and yeah, please vote for next month.
That's great. Thank you, Lindsay. We shouldn't reward lying, though, generally speaking.
Technically, we didn't.
Well, no, but they rewarded the lying. Yes. Yeah.
Jeez.
But I mean, the pet got care and the pet didn't lie. So
True. See, that's the way to look at it.
my pet would lie.
Oh, Amy, you ready? Maybe. Oh, there we go. I'll unshare mine.
Sorry. Can you guys see that?
I'm sorry. Are those all the? You can't even see them. There's so many. There's little eyes.
There are so many, but everyone can see it. Awesome.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Sorry.
617 entries this month. You guys made my typing fingers work. That is for sure. Great job, everyone. Thanks for all the extra help. I'm going to shuffle it up. Mike or Sharon, can you jump on and let me know how many draws we're doing this month? We will go with our first.
I don't know the answer, but I would say 3 sounds good.
3 sounds great to me. Thank you.
Also, nice job. Congrats.
Congratulations. Kristen had something like 37 ballots. Congratulations, Kristen.
Woohoo! I'm gonna wait. Hold on. Here's my goat scream. There we go. Woohoo!
I'm gonna shuffle again. Congratulations, Sherry.
Congrats, Sherry.
One final go. Sabina, congratulations.
I also won last month. Are we allowed to win 2 months in a row? Or should we just skip me and
Sabina's fixing it. Just kidding. Congratulations, Sabina.
we're allowed to win twice in a row? Or... Sorry?
Yeah, it's very random, and so I would say yes.
Sabina, if I can win, you can win 2 months in a row. Okay.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Hey, I'll have money for another monitor. That's great.
There you go.
Thank you.
That's it for me, guys.
Okay. Any questions, anybody?
I have a question that's very important, unless somebody has a more important question.
Go ahead.
Okay. It's really not important because we used to live in an island in Spot, and there was water, and I really, really enjoyed looking out at the water when I was working, even though it was virtual. Is there any way to have at least part of Spot near water so I can look at it instead of buildings and roads? I live in the city. I've lived in the city. This was the only time I worked by the water, and so it was very nice, even though it was fake. I get it. It's not important. But
That's
please,
amazing, though.
it
Mike
made me
and
feel
Jared.
so much better it being a Spot and with the palm trees and everything. And then we got city, and
It's
that
the
just
little
made me
things. It's the little things that count. Mike and Jared make it happen.
doesn't have to be
It's already
the whole
done.
thing. Thank
It's
you.
already
Thank
done.
you. I really appreciate it. I'm sorry. It's really stupid, but it made me happy.
No, I'm all for that.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
This was the most important question of the entire.
Thanks.
I love it.
I love it. Thank you so much, guys.
special mention while we're talking about like modifications to Spot. Like, how did
Yeah.
Kathy pull that off? That's really impressive with
Oh
the
yeah.
burgers and the hot dogs. Anyway,
Okay. Anybody else?
Jared, did you see this note up here? It says, "Can we make a note to show on the floor of the office so we can edit? I would like to show wait times on weekends for new people coming on." Is there like a little like is there a cork board or something that could go in the office?
that's a tricky one. I think we can do the post-it notes. I'll have to do some digging because I'm not entirely familiar with Spot, but
Right.
like, on its own, I don't think that's possible. But having something that can, like, manually update might be possible, like something like a post-it note. But I'll do some digging into that and we'll figure something out.
Cool, because yeah, that's a good point, Bridget. Sometimes the wait time gets lost in the chat, and it'd be kind of nice. And whoever's like in charge of setting the wait times, yeah, could absolutely edit. That's an interesting idea.
I think that could be great. Great addition.
Hmm.
One thing that comes to mind just quickly is like having maybe like one of those TV looking things on the wall, and then we can just like upload a new image that shows what the wait times are, something like that. I don't know. I'll figure something out.
For the, you know how when we put in a clinic name in a portal, we have a notice board that pops up? Would it be, I don't know if anybody would agree with this, but along with the notice board, if the clinic can get pinned to the side as well, that way if we need to look at the clinic information as well, once we read the notice board, we can go straight, we don't have to pin it ourselves because it's already there. Would that be possible, or would that take too much like space? And would that bother anybody? Do you know what I mean?
Keen to hear what others think on that. We are currently working on having a second hospital pinnable, so you can pin two at a time.
Okay.
So we could potentially do something like that while we're making this change. So we're doing that within the next 2 weeks.
Okay.
But I'll make a note for myself to reach out to you, Savannah, just to get sort of clarity on what that would entail.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you.
No problem.
Cool. Jessica, no, you can't pin messages in the workspace chat. Spot's a totally separate application. Like we didn't build that, so there are limitations that we can really do it.
Did you see Olivia's messages?
Yeah, it looks like Shauna replied to it. I had a call the other day where the dog was hit by a car, passed in a couple minutes. If we have their primary vet information, should we send? So I usually send them an email.
I was going to say, I do think we should, this warrants a separate reach out, not just
Mhm.
relying on the clinic to see it in there.
Yeah, I'll usually send them an email and just say, "Hi, Sarah from SmartVet. I took a call from one of your patients, or one of your clients rather. The patient did pass away. Here's the information. Um, you know, my apology or my apologies, goodness, my sympathies for the loss of a patient, or something along those lines." Yeah, so you can send the call log with an FYI note, Dana. That's perfect. And yes, the call PDF export button that we now have would be a perfect way to do this. Because before I would just write in an email. So. Maybe I'll write up somewhere in one of my SOPs just to how to handle these. Because yes, I usually do that. That makes sense for sure. A heads up is always nice. Because then, what if they're going to show up for aftercare in the morning? I just always nice for them to know somebody might be coming in the morning right when they open. So perfect. Anybody else?
Okay, everyone. Hey, we're going to get out with 5 minutes to spare.
And we did
Oh,
case
Can I,
review.
yeah.
can I just say something really quick?
Sure.
Yeah.
So I know like our clinic always calls the clients that we're seeing on the weekend. So that would be really nice because sometimes we haven't got the medical records from other clinics in our group and we don't know that the pet passed away. We just have, that it was being transferred. And so that having that note would be amazing because there's been a few times where our team members have kind of called the client and they're like, oh yeah, it died on the way. Um, so it is really nice for staff members to have that heads up.
I agree 100%. Thank you for that comment. And thanks everybody for being here, spending your evening with us. And thanks for all your hard work as always.
Now go claim some shifts for September.
Yeah. Okay, thanks. Have a good night, everybody.
All right. Bye, guys.